Hey there! Let's talk about Odin. It already has a ton of great tutorials online, so this ain't one of them. It's just, I reversed engineered the file format behind Sirenix's new Visual Designer, and reverse engineered is a strong word for what I actually did, but long story short, now Claude builds custom inspectors for me while I make coffee. Oh, while working on this video, I reached out to the folks at Sirenix, and they hooked us up with 5 Odin licenses to give away and a 20% discount for everyone else. I'm not sponsored by them, I get nothing out of it, except for the licenses I give away. Hunt for codes with this icon, and full rules are in the description. Buckle up. I need a player script, and a player can be anyone, me playing with a keyboard, another human opponent, or an NPC. My player needs to have a color, and I'm going to apply it by changing the material on the renderer. Lastly, if the player is not human, I want to set the AI difficulty. And since I don't have a difficulty type yet, I'll go ahead and create one. It needs to be serializable, and it'll be a simple enum with easy, medium, and hard values. I also want a method that will let me randomize the player's color. Nothing too fancy, I'll just generate a random color and assign it to the shared material. I won't even switch to Unity to show you how it looks, you all know it already. The Odin Inspector provides a handy set of attributes that can improve how the inspector looks. For example, I can put the player color field into a fold-out called Setup, and while I'm at it, I'll put the renderer there as well. If the player is human, there's no need to show the difficulty field. Thankfully, there's a neat little attribute called showIf. Here, I'm telling it that this field should only be shown if the isHuman field is set to false. And one attribute I simply can't live without is button. This little thing allows me to turn any method into a clickable button right in the inspector. I already have a capsule here representing my player. I just need to add the player component to it. And here's the foldout with the setup title. I can collapse it to hide everything inside or expand it to reveal it. While I'm here, I'll also drag the renderer reference. Now, there's the most beautiful part of this inspector, a method exposed as a button. Isn't it wonderful? I can click it and it just works. Awesome. Oh, and notice something? We have 4 fields, not 3. The difficulty field is hidden because isHuman is set to true. Unchecking it reveals the enum field. This works seamlessly as well. But that's not all. Recently, the folks at Sirenix released the Visual Designer. You can access it by right-clicking on the component, selecting Odin, and then choosing Customize in Visual Designer. This represents your inspector and lets you edit it without writing any code or waiting for recompilation. For example, I don't like how far the isHuman field is from the difficulty field, so I can simply drag it next to difficulty in the designer, and you can see the changes immediately. The small icon next to each field lets you edit the attributes applied to that field. Difficulty already has the showIf attribute, but I'm going to add another one. This one turns the enum into a set of toggle buttons. Just like we can edit fields, we can also edit methods. The randomize color method already has the button attribute, but I'm not happy with how it looks. I can change the properties of this attribute right from the designer. For example, I can make the height larger, set the icon to a paint bucket, and even add another attribute to change the color of the button. It's important to set the alpha value, otherwise the button will be invisible. Once that's done, I can change the color to whatever I want. At this point, everything is just a preview. To save the changes, I need to press the Save button and it will write a text file to your project. Again, no recompilation needed here. The inspector is fully functional immediately, and everything works. But I'm not here to create yet another Odin tutorial. A quick thing before we pivot. Did you know that 60% of you aren't subscribed yet? If you made it this far, you probably should be. So hit subscribe and like the video. I'll wait. While I usually prefer writing code and not dragging and dropping things around, the Visual Designer kind of intrigued me. Mainly because it changed the inspector without triggering recompilation. There are other amazing reasons to use the Visual Designer, and you can find all of them in Odin's promotional video. I'm here to dig. To make this work, Odin saves a configuration file per class. It's located under Plugins, Sirenix, Odin Inspector, Visual Designer, Saved. Here it is. The file name is made up of the class's namespace and its class name. When I open it, it looks like a YAML file or some kind of indentation-based format. If I had to guess, they didn't use JSON because they already have a fast serializer and simply reused it. The first line indicates the version this file was serialized with, followed by the full class name with its namespace, alongside the assembly name. Next is the GUID of the class, which is stored in its meta file. But that is not the interesting part. What comes next is. Here we can see one of the variables from my script prepended with a hashtag. One can assume this is how a field is declared. Then we have a property, position. It looks like it's zero-based from the root, because I moved this field below the foldout, which would put the foldout at position 0. As you can see though, that's not documented here. Anything not listed here is rendered as it normally would be. Next is the difficulty field, and immediately after it a plus sign. This probably means the enum toggle buttons attribute was added to this field. Then comes the randomized color field, with the button attribute marked with a star. And if you remember, I didn't add this attribute, I modified it. And here are the values I modified, the height and the icon. By the way, these are real attributes you can use in your code. If I'll search for enum toggle buttons attribute, here it is inside the Odin Inspector assembly. The same goes for the GUI color attribute. It's right here, along with all of its fields that we can set. At this point, I wondered what would need to happen for changes to take effect if I modify this file externally. It didn't look like the asset database was involved, but to check, I opened the directory with the files outside of Unity. Unity is running in the background with automatic refreshes disabled, and I can see the inspector in the background. Deleting the Odin files immediately restores the inspector to its default state. Restoring them brings the modified inspector right back. Fast. Really fast. But why would I want to modify the files? Well, I don't. Not manually anyway. I'll admit, this is a weird place to end up on a Tuesday night, but I've got the file format mostly mapped out, real attributes with extensive documentation, and no recompilation in the loop as a bonus. That's enough to build a custom Claude skill that can modify the inspector for me. Do you know how to build a skill for Claude? Neither do I, but Claude does, and all you have to do is ask nicely. It asked me to make changes manually in the Visual Designer and then read the file back. Couple of iterations, and that's how we reversed engineered the format further. I'll spare you all the back and forth. In the end, a skill was created, and here you can see it. It has metadata with a name and a description that tells Claude when to use it. At startup, only this portion is loaded into the context. Then there's the full explanation of what to do. For example, there's a structured step-by-step procedure outlining how to approach the task. And it's quite long. I'm sure it could be optimized. Then comes the references. The attributes file contains the definitions for the attributes. I haven't included all 100-something attributes that Odin has, and I also think there's probably a more efficient way to handle this. And if you want to try it, fork it, or even improve it, it's all on GitHub, links in the description. And then there's the OVDF format description, which contains various rules and examples. While I was at it, I also created a skill for the new Unity AI, which uses a similar format to what Claude uses. For this example, I completely removed all attributes from the player script and want to see how Unity AI handles it. I simply ask it to improve the inspector for my script, and that should be enough to trigger the skill. And here it is. After waiting 45 seconds, I have a modified inspector. though it seems it made a small mistake and inverted the condition on the difficulty field. This is a good chance to see how it handles specific instructions. After another 20 seconds, the bug is fixed and the toggle is working as expected. But let's be real. For a script this small, I could probably have done it manually in the same time. This gives me an idea. Let's improve a really large scriptable object that has many nested classes, but this time using Claude. Just look at this monstrosity. I'll ask Claude to improve this inspector along with all of its dependencies. I created this object specifically to test the skill, but in my career, I've seen a lot, and trust me, a class this big is not far-fetched. It looks like after only 4 minutes, Claude has built the inspector for the root file. 1 more minute and 8 additional classes are covered. I already like what I'm seeing, but let's explore it a bit more. Nice sliders, though I'm wondering why there are 2 types. How do they differ? And I really like the colored tabs with icons. I think it's safe to say that in 6 minutes I wouldn't have been able to create something like this myself. Hell, it took me more time to make me a cup of coffee, and it's definitely better than what we started with. The skill is pretty useful. Well, at least for me, because my art skills lose to a soulless machine, and sometimes I'm just lazy. Speaking of lazy, for almost every video I do, I feel like there's more I want to say, and this one included. But that extra stuff doesn't fit in the main format, so I want to try a bonus content series. Short videos, around 3 minutes each, uploaded in addition to the main ones. We'll see how it goes. For now, keep on creating, and I'll see you in the next one.